Hi. So, there's actually a lot of stuff to talk about once more. Usually in a week, not a lot changes. This time, I think a lot of stuff has happened. Like a month crammed into a week, which we actually had kind of in the beginning when we started to just talk about who I am in general, and there was just a lot to talk about me. I think we did that pretty nicely. And now the day to day, I feel like the last few diaries I kept it short because otherwise I would find something to talk about specifically, and I don't think that's super great. Like you'd see that it's just for content, which isn't the goal of this, and I do it not for myself anymore, but for you. So I kept it to the things that are actually important to me, and sometimes it was just important to me that I still continue thinking about stuff. I want to first of all talk about work. Work has been extremely frustrating for over 1.5 years now, where they didn't solve the issues that I had, even though I proposed specific solutions. Um, and none of the solutions were taken, but they now solved them. So they found in parts, I'm very sure, even better ways than what I have recommended. They actually thought about it. I feel like I'm getting the support I need now, and that's good. That ends for now, at least, until it will become a problem again, because I'm sure it will. That ends for now, like 1.5 years of constantly being annoying every Tuesday. I will. I talked about this with my partner already, whether they find it a good idea, and they said yes. So I will put, like, instead of we're constantly nagged for over half an hour in our weekly meeting, I'll put something positive there, just something short and sweet, because I think that is important, and I want to put attention towards that now that I actually feel like there's something done to improve company morale. Generally, my issues are being worked on. I'm genuinely happy about that, and I want to get that across. And I want to do that next week for sure. So yeah, I'm happy about that, and it has impacted my mental health a lot. It has, like, work has been the thing I was doing the most, and I think it's cool that there's effort being put in there in really cool ways. I really appreciate it. I don't want to talk in depth about it because I think that's weird. Talking about specific company decisions, especially if you could at some point follow, like, find out who I am and then find out where I work, and then therefore like make decisions about the company I work at. But yeah, also something I want to clarify there: I was never asked to work the plus hours I did. It was just something I did my job well as a project manager. The project became bigger. I did what I was asked to do, and then like, if you have 5 projects that are a certain size, you can fill a whole week's worth of work, and if the projects become 3 times the size, you can fill a bit more than that. Like, obviously, it's not linear scaling, because it's still usually the same people you're talking to. It's and this still the same people you're planning for, but generally it changes a lot. Um, I'm like I'm really happy how that's been working out. Um and I also have to I felt ignored, uh, even like last week when we had the talks that I, in retrospect, now find really positive. I felt like you're just presenting me with a solution that will just give you the option to move the discussion to next week. And that's what I've been feeling for the past few months, but I feel like we actually made progress this time. Like the past 1.5 years, and now I actually feel like we are making progress. We're making specific points, and I feel seen. I feel like there's also effort put in, that I can be feel like that I can be felt seen, and it's not an issue anymore of, hey, you're just yammering every week and yapping. about how this is an issue. You escalated it to a certain extent, and we will now actually look for solutions. I still feel like I still feel like they're presenting the solutions to me like it's my job to see those solutions, even though the solutions that are presented for me seem way outside of what I'm supposed to do. Especially considering I'm already stretching what I'm supposed to do far to support everybody in the way that I can. Again, being really vague here, but I hope it makes sense in what I'm saying. Like, my duty is not like taking care of other people emotionally at work that work with me. It is still important that if somebody gets like to talk to me and is like, yeah, I would like to see a different project. I've worked on this project for 1.5 years. I'll try to make that possible. And if somebody talks to me and is like, "Hey, I'm feeling really frustrated. I need to see something else. Can you talk to person X about this?" It's not what I'm there for, but sometimes nobody else does it because there's no time with other people, and I just make time for it. That is something that you could say I shouldn't do that, and I'm doing that only for myself, and somebody else should do it, and I'm taking away their. No, like, the quality that I do that is what is appreciated in this company about me. It's not following orders, and I should just lock in on the things that I do. It is a quality that is appreciated, and I think exercising that quality is important to me because I like that about myself as well. But I can't look away from some stuff and just say like, "Hey, here is a gap," and nobody wants to fix it, so I will attempt to be overwhelmed, say that, and somebody else can take it over from there because I prepared it. And that is fine with me. I enjoy that. Also, from what you just heard, that is the reason why I did all the plus hours as well. One of the reasons I take care of stuff. It's just I have to delegate it now. And it's really weird to delegate in a management position your management stuff, because I won't get less projects. I now know the project, so I'm the one that makes the most sense. So what happens? You shift some responsibility of each project onto the developers. That is what will happen. So, for example, instead of now knowing when tasks synergize with one another, I can still do that. But for example, hey, this isn't done, has to be told to me now, which is weird. I can't just look it up because that takes more time. I'll just be like, hey, we have planned this in a certain way, and you will have to tell me if it won't work out. There are people who are dependent on what you're doing. I usually think that this is not good management, especially I think putting pressure on the team and putting duty of observation on the team is exactly what management is there to take from away from them so that they can actually concentrate on useful things. I think that that's the way it should work. But if you're critically understaffed, everybody will do a bit of everything. The important part for me is that, like, if there's an issue, the issue comes to me first. I will solve the issue if I don't need a developer for it, and I will continue. And there's like 15 different workflows. I'm extremely simplifying it. But like, yeah, that's the thing. So that's really cool. And the reason why I have to delegate it is because I actually don't want to end in burnout. Because I've been working way too many hours, because I kept my quality on bigger and bigger stages, and I just can't anymore. But I still insist on my quality and insist on it getting better, and I'll have to install it in everybody instead of having to do it myself. And I think that couldn't have been done in August. I think me pushing the quality is important and something that I can mainly do because it's my job. That's like my job description, keep quality high. And then I can teach it, and then people can continue it. And I can still innovate on that front. So I think we've worked towards that, and I think all of my teams are ready to support me there. and we can more closely work together, as weirdly as that sounds. Like we've worked closely together before, but like we now do the very similar things, which will include that I will have to tell them pretty much everything that's going on in pretty minute detail, which sucks because that takes up a lot of my time and it will take up a lot of theirs, and it is time that um, if you had a dedicated project manager for the projects, wouldn't have to be spent. Simple as that. Like you're basically delegating a 2-hour task to cost 1 hour from 4 people or something like that is what I'm talking about, and I just like that. But yeah, that's just what will have to happen, and we will get better at that, and it will be more and more efficient again at some point. But yeah, I just like that. That it's just the weird. It's just the weird situation of being understaffed, having less people actually meaning more work, and that's what I've been. That's what I felt like for a bit. Which again is being like everything is being worked on. Yeah. So last week I also worked for only 38.5 hours. I think a bit more, which is my in my contract written when I'm supposed to work as much. My goal was 35 for basically the entire year. 35 hours. I already failed that. But it's still 12 hours less than usual. And I noticed that with having more energy, with having a weekend. Like I was laying in bed all weekend. I couldn't. I was emotionally exhausted. My I'm gonna be honest, my partner suffered under it as well because I wasn't as emotional available as I wanted to be. Coming home exhausted just does that to you. It's just not fun. Like I still tried my best. My partner didn't complain big time, but they are noticing the difference, of course, now, and I don't think they want to go back to that. I don't want to go back to that, and I don't. It will happen, maybe. There's always times where you have to stock up in hours. Them as well, they also had some times like that. Like that's just job. That's just how job works. That's exactly why we have this, what we call in German Gleitzeit, which you basically can work plus hours here and then take them off another time without any issues. And they are actually not allowed to pay it out for you in some jobs, for example, office jobs, because the point is it's unhealthy to work that much. As simple as it is, so they don't allow it. Um, yeah, so that it's really cool. It feels like there's all of these things that are solving, and I feel so much better. I've also like this year I will stream for 4 days a week. That my partner will enable that for me. They will pre-cook something at times. They will cook for me at other times. They will try to accommodate me as best as I can. I'm not easy when it is about streaming. I have anxiety issues about it. You know about that. But now that I don't have them anymore, I still have these issues of I'm very perceptive. I see stuff in the corner of my eye, and if it's something is there, it distracts me. It makes me nervous. That counts for the cat that is here sometimes. If she's here, then I don't see her in the corner of my eye. But for example, if my partner's cooking, they're standing there. If my partner is staring into space in the middle of the room, I see them in the corner of my eye, and I will play and stream Versa if they do that. I'm not easy, and I'm not pretending to be. And we're trying to be more accommodating to one another. I'm trying to learn a bit more to handle that, but it's really, really hard for me. I've always had that. And especially because I didn't have to have that. I'd never lived with somebody before, and cats weren't allowed in my room at my parents' house, except if I specifically let them in. So I didn't really know that even, and it's really hard for me. I've like now it's like 2 years that I experienced this so far. Um, so what else? What am I thinking about? Um, we are working on that. They are facilitating me doing my hobby, and it is not a big. I talk to them. It's not a big change to them. They sometimes just make the Monday meal a bit bigger so I can stream on Tuesday and I have something to eat for sure. And sometimes they just tell me that I'll have to cook for myself and that will have to be early enough for me to accommodate streaming. Also, with me not coming home at 6 in the evening anymore when I went to work at 6 in the morning, um, it's I just have time. I can chill during the week sometimes. I can prepare the stream. I can warm up my hands so I can do attempts on stream, which makes for a more interesting stream in my opinion. I can just watch videos on the side while I do that as well, which is something that I am chronically I don't know, like I want to keep my watch later list as low as possible, and there's just some daily videos that I have. I have the ability to play the Yu-Gi-Oh gacha game and just do my dailies. I have the ability to just do stuff. I have the ability to enjoy life now again. And yeah, um, it's amazing. I feel a lot better. Mm, so now that we talked about that entire section and how I'm doing a lot better in 2026 than I've been in 2025 and for a long time. Also, I'm not looking at a script or anything. It's just that here's the OBS and here's the camera. So if I'm not talking like this, it's because I actually like to see what's happening in the background. That is a skill that I should learn, honestly, because I like talking to camera. So let's try this for the rest of the video. For the rest of the diary entry, I think calling this a video is kind of a disservice to videos. So just the next thing is I've been streaming 4 days a week, and it's been really healthy, and I'm really happy about that. And it's enjoyable. I don't feel exhausted. I feel like I'm capable of doing it. I feel like I'm capable of putting those hours in. It has driven up numbers on stream, which I find cool. What like makes sense. I'm not back at where I was when I streamed daily, but that's completely fine. I also don't think that's possible anymore because Celeste has also like 3/4 at best its viewership in the past year or so. I PB'd 6B start, which I haven't PB'd in 1.5 years, and I think that was more or less my most active effort I have in the Celeste video game currently, and for the past 1.5 years. It is sadly not the 56. It is certainly not a run that I'm happy with, but it do be a run, and I'm fine with it. And I'm really happy that I got a PB. No matter how memeable it is or how distraught I was about it not being the 56, I think maybe making the progress is incredible, and I will continue to work on that. And afterwards, I will most likely continue on working on 6B instead of going somewhere else again. Like I talked about, most likely that will be the case. So I'm feeling like everything is going positively. I'm in a much better mood. I feel like I can put effort into work, into like at work, into not coming across as annoyed anymore, because I feel like coming across as annoyed was part of my point, because it reflected not only my stance. And we'll see whether everything is actually solved. I don't think so. I think like the solutions that are presented currently are not enough. But like that's fine. I'm fine to look at the results of the current solutions and reevaluate and not just be like, I don't think that will be enough. I don't, but I still think just saying fine, that is one thing that I asked for. Let's handle that and we'll reevaluate later. I'm completely fine with that. Sounds great. Let's do that. I'll enjoy myself with that. Um, yeah, I also yesterday I was able to hang out with Doc for an entire day. We played Secrets of Garindia. Such a good game, dude. It's so good. I love the game to death. Full disclosure, I followed that game's development process since 2011. It came out last year. Sorry, 2 years ago by now, in 2024. Amazing game. Really, really enjoyed it. Played through it like 6 times, and they have a New Game Plus mode. And the New Game Plus mode, I don't want to spoil anything about it. That there's something to spoil about New Game Plus, I think is really cool in and of itself, and I hope you can see from that they put in a lot of effort. I think that was even like 6 months in beta, that the update. It's incredible. We loved it. We played like 12 hours yesterday, just spontaneously. I was like, would you be interested in that? And he's like, yeah. And we just had fun in that world. It's so good. Recommend looking into it. And yeah, I'm glad I have time for that. You know what my Saturdays before that looked like? Anxiety driven in bed. Even during my vacation, anxiety driven bed. There's so much to do, and that went away. And I think the anxiety was tangible on me and at work because I think I complained even harsher when I came back. I like the result of having a non-solution before I went on vacation manifested itself harshly afterwards. And I feel kind of like a jackass for that. Genuinely. But I also feel like that is the reason why we found a solution. And there were other colleagues that supported me in that. So I feel like it was warranted, and not only from my perspective. I think it was also from other people's perspective. Genuinely think that. But it could have backfired, and I'm fine with that. I've always been fine with that, and I think being royally pissed off at work and that being accepted and not being reprimanded for it, but being like, wait, okay, he's spitting, is a valuable trait of a company, and I respect that. And that's why I want to give back. And hey, I think these are positive things. I just want to do that as soon as possible and not talking about like stuff. I think that's yeah. I think that will be healthy, and maybe I can turn around to say, hey, if you actually help him, then he was actually kind of desperate and annoyed at this point, but he will be nice again. If we actually do something about it, I think that's really cool. I also feel extremely supported with the solutions that they offered. They supported me in executing them because I was like, I don't have the time, honestly. And they were like, okay, good, we support you. Like, I still didn't manage to get everything done. I still feel like there's another 6 to 7 hours of work that were missing from last week. But yeah, what you gonna do? I put it into different stuff that was necessary, and I'm happy about that. So that's it. I think next week will be harsh. I think there are a lot of like monthly and bi-monthly things that have to happen, and I know other stuff that has to happen. I think it will be a harsh work week, and I will still try to get it to 35 hours. And if stuff has to like can't happen, then it can't happen. Thank you for listening to me. I think I'm a lot more positive today as well. I think I'm always positive in these videos because usually, for the purpose of these videos, I already do some self-reflection and I go out of the emotion and I go back into, hey, how does it actually look like? And again, for example, I was really annoyed after and before the talk that led to a lot of solutions. And I feel like when I go back now, that I see the positives in it, and there's more positives than negatives by far. And I feel like I already do that before I go into these videos. So if you ever feel like I come across as inauthentic, that's to some extent true because you're seeing the self-reflected version. You're not seeing the in-moment version of me. I am, especially after being annoyed about something for a very long time that I put a lot of passion in, I can come across as very pissed, and I'm fine with that. And that's also I usually am not like that in private at all. So I also think there's a very different person at work, or has been for the past 1 year, than there has been at home, where I'm genuinely more patient, exhausted. Of course, I was maybe a bit emotionally distant, and just a bit more stoic. And yeah, now it's now that I'm happier at work, I'll be more happy at home, and that will be the emotion there. I hope that continues. I think it's a good trend. I hope they keep it up. It is a genuine effort, and I feel like it's cool. and I will put my effort into actually having free time and being healthy. So, yeah, that's it. Genuine good news. I'm happy about it. I got out of the routine of misery. um, let's keep it that way. Let's just do this. The other people as well that caused my mental shift, because the other hand is a lot of my mental strain was caring too much about that other people are not doing enough. Even though I could just say, who cares? Because I'm passionate about the things. So I was all like, the solution that I was genuinely trying to get to was just being more emotionally distant from it, which I don't think is cool. I don't like that, but if I had to do it, I'm happy that I have to put in less work into a better result. That's the cool thing. Yeah. We'll see. I'm interested in what I will talk about next week. See you then. Bye.